Hey guys, so I'm Kennedy, and Press Start is starting a new segment called Volume Up, where I will be reviewing new albums that come out and rating them on a scale of 1 to 11, how high I'm turning the volume up. So the first album that we're going to be talking about in our new segment is Marilyn Manson's new album, Heaven Upside Down. So he has already released 2 tracks from the album, 2 singles, one called We Know Where You Fucking Live, and the second one called Kill For Me. We Know Where You Fucking Live's lyrics, and especially imagery in the music video, alludes to an alternate universe type deal. So you see nuns walking in giant pump stilettos with large guns coming into this nice modern suburban family home, guys with clean cut haircuts, right? And tearing their place apart. Hence the words, we know where you fucking live. It seems to be an allusion to, the Mormons knocking on your door kind of thing. Definitely referring to, how Marilyn Manson probably feels that escaping Christianity is borderline impossible. The guy grew up in Catholic school. Can you really blame him? But his music video seems to make it like the sides are flipped, as opposed to Christians and Mormons and the like knocking on people's doors all the time. I'm presuming Satanists instead, because that's his whole deal. I had to look up the lyrics really quickly. The part about the world was stripped of its superficial services kind of tends to allude to perhaps the beginning of this reverse Christianity idealism of getting rid of all of the fake things that Marilyn Manson likes to sing a lot about, that Satanists like to promote, I believe, as well as how the pre-chorus talks about, so what's a nice place like this doing around people like us, whereas your typical Christian perhaps would be looking down upon a bad neighborhood, if that makes any sense. It's very old school Manson style. I'm really excited about that. His 2 newest albums, I feel, pass as good rock music that you could definitely get down to, but the rock genre hasn't necessarily changed. Their basic shock rock is what I'm trying to say. They're not branching out, and they're not reflective upon his prime time, I guess you could say, in the 90s and 2000s, and this song is a really good throwback to all of that. I feel it really encompasses it while being really progressive. It's kind of a new-ish theme as far as the music video goes, though the art style is very similar to what he has always done. It's refreshing, but also a really good throwback. The song I like. Now, the second song that he released as a single, Kill For Me, is what has me so excited about this new album. You definitely begin to hear some funk elements, especially in the guitar. The lyrics are pretty basic Marilyn Manson. They don't branch out to any new ideas particularly, but the sound of the music is what has me so hyped about this new album. It has me looking forward to maybe a new sound that he would be approaching. Because as far as I can think, the only new things Marilyn Manson has really done was Eat Me, Kill Me, I think is the name of the album. Let me double check. Eat Me, Drink Me, my bad. Eat Me, Drink Me was a different sound for him, and not in a good way. That album was actual cancerous garbage. This album I hope to be new in better ways, more progressive ways. The guy is older now, and I just really want to see a new outlook on his music career, because he's branched out into acting, and that's really cool. He does really well, even though the characters that he plays isn't really much of a stretch from who he is as an actual person, so that's fine, but he does it well, so it's okay. But I just really want this new album to be something that is fresh for him. We Know Where You Fucking Live is not particularly fresh, but it's still well done. Kill For Me is amazing. Lyrics, they're so-so. Sound magical. So let's start listening to this album. Alright, so the first track is called Revelation Number 12. Okay, so that was Revelation 12. And it's still pretty typical Marilyn Manson, similar characteristics of what I've seen from his most recent albums, heavy vocal distortion, things that you would obviously expect. The only thing that I really see this song has going for it is like the cool wordplay that isn't even necessarily clever. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, Revelation 12. What's Revelation 12? I couldn't tell you. Is it maybe a Bible reference? Maybe he does those sometimes, but I haven't read the Bible, so if it is, I wouldn't know. Let's look it up really quickly, actually. A great sign appeared in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun, with the moon under her feet and a crown of 12 stars on her head. She was pregnant and cried out in pain as she was about to give birth. Then another sign appeared in heaven, an enormous red dragon with 7 heads and 10 horns and 7 crowns on its heads. Its tail swept a third of the stars out of the sky and flung them to the earth. The dragon stood in front of the woman who was about to give birth so that it might devour her child the moment it was born. So long story short, I think this is talking about the devil. I probably definitely sound like an idiot here because I am of in no way a religions expert, but I guess it's talking about Satan coming to earth and wreaking havoc on all of that woman's children, and I suppose that woman, I don't know. Long story short, it is a biblical reference. How necessary it might be to this album, we will find out. Reading that story may have helped me put into perspective. Maybe that's the theme for the whole album, as it's called Heaven Upside Down. Ha. So this is the second song, called Tattooed in Reverse.
Fuck your Bible and your devil. Make the song to a dirty bomb. So dance, motherfucker, dance. Race it till red.
Yes!
Standing, unregretted. Got tattooed in reverse. Standing, unregretted. Got tattooed in reverse.
I was looking at the lyrics as it was playing, just to be clear that I understood everything perfectly. Some of the lyric distortion can get a little confusing sometimes, but holy shit, that's a fucking banger. It's really one that you can kind of like lean back and rock to, and I really enjoyed it. It was slower in pace than most things. There wasn't 10,000 different sounds going on, like he usually likes to do. That was really good. The lyrics definitely had biblical themes, as Manson usually does, and as one should hope that the album does, as Heaven Upside Down is the name of it, kind of making these connections as one goes along. Who would have thought it? But yeah, I enjoyed, what I really hoped to see from this album was him pull back just a little bit. He's getting on in years, and that's fine, and I still love him from the bottom of my heart. I'm a huge Manson fan, just if you can't tell. But I've always wanted him to see him kind of pull back and try something different, and this does sound different. This is what I was hoping for from this album. This is a good song. It is called Tattooed in Reverse. Definitely listen to that if you're going to be picky and choosy about what you listen to from this album. This one's really good. I like it. Let's go on to the next one. Oh wait, the next one is We Know Where You Fucking Live. But since we're going to listen to this in order, let's just go ahead and do this thing. We Know Where You Fucking Live. If you're interested in this album, you've probably already heard it because it was a single that was released. And if you like his old stuff, which, if you like Marilyn Manson, you like his old stuff, then it's definitely going to be a pleasant throwback to you. And it's well done. And it has its place on the album. It fits in perfectly. I like it. Moving on to the next one, called Say 10. Like Satan. I just got that. Okay. Okay. So Marilyn Manson, consistently throughout his entire career has had a really I guess he just really likes puns, maybe, because he enjoys a lot of wordplay with like numbers and things like that. Like say, S-A-Y, 10, as in Satan, but say 10. It just makes me really happy for some reason. It just does. I just really like to imagine like Marilyn Manson in his eye makeup, thinking like, oh my god, that's brilliant. I'm writing a song about it right now. No, and then the line cocaine and Abel, and I'm like, I see what you did there. In the beginning of the song, he has a slower, gravelly consistency in voice, and perhaps due to lyrics and the nature of the song, maybe he is telling the story of the dragon that's mentioned in Revelation 12, about the dragon who came to Earth to eat all the woman's children. I feel like maybe he's attempting to take on that persona and portray that character, because he says, something is shedding its scales, crying from the heat of the light, perhaps referencing the light of the sun that she was clothed in, or the empty shell on the stage, and cash is a poor man's money, and you say God, and I say Satan. He's definitely portraying from the perspective of a grotesque, possibly Satan, possibly the dragon being, because he does use the first person tense later on in the song. So there is that. It's a good song, definitely catchy. It suffices for a rap song and fits in with the theme of the album. Not my favorite necessarily, but it's good. Moving on to the next one, Kill For Me. I'm really excited. Let's just listen to it. It's good. So yeah, there's that. I was listening to the song just before making this video, getting myself really hyped for the release. And for some reason I didn't realize what exactly it was talking about. I guess I got so caught up in the fact that it was a banger that I didn't really realize like some of the lines in it. Sideways for attention, long ways for results, obviously referring to like cutting oneself. And I looked at my boyfriend and I'm like, dude, this song is probably almost definitely like kind of romanticizing suicide. Like, I don't know how I feel about that, but it's also Marilyn Manson and he's shock rock, so it's fine. He was like, well, it depends on, like, I suppose what perspective he is singing it from. And I think an overlying theme that we can definitely see in this album is that he is speaking from the perspective of Satan, or this dragon creature that originally popped up. Perhaps that little whisper in someone's ear about these things, not necessarily advocating for it, but being the devil on someone's shoulder. I don't know how to describe that. Things that people should definitely go get therapy for, and my thoughts and positive vibes are with you. Moving on to the next song, which is Saturnalia, I think is how you pronounce it. Let's see.
Survives, I will still be in on you. No matter how close you are, until we fall. I don't wanna be in the middle when the exit side of your road. I don't wanna be in the middle when the exit side of your road.
Okay, so I googled what Saturnalia was, and it popped up that it was an ancient Roman festival in honor of the god Saturn. The lyrics themselves perhaps continue to perpetuate the original theory of he is speaking from the consistently speaking from the perspective of this otherworldly being, dragon, demon, devil monster, because it opens with, when all your demons die, even if just one survives, I will still be there to hold you no matter how cold you are. Perhaps implying that he is like a little devil on your shoulder, a little thing that you maybe can't get rid of. The lyrics on this just feel so random. It just feels like an angry song about bad things. I don't know. I don't really like this one, I guess. And it sounds like all Marilyn Manson songs kind of sound. Not impressed with Saturnalia. I'm gonna have to do a hard pass on this one. Next song, number 7 on the album, is Jesus Crisis, and all of the S's are spelled with dollar signs. So let's give this one a try. That's all that I'm going to listen to of that song. I think it's kind of terrible. It opens with the lines, "I write songs to fight and to fuck to. If you want to fight, then I'll fight you. If you want to fuck, I will fuck you. Make up your mind, or I'll make it up for you." It's a rock song about doing drugs, fighting people, and having sex. Nothing instrumentally about it is particularly appealing, particularly different. The lyrics are kind of dumb. It's worse than generic. I would go so far as to say, like on a scale of 1 to 11, I would give this song itself a 2 for effort. And the effort being that they, like, actually put this on the album. Like, I don't think this... Manson, honey. Why? No, it's bad. We're moving on to the next one. So the next one on this album is called Blood Honey. And I accidentally clicked it a little bit earlier, and it sounded slow at the beginning. Is this like the token slow song on the Marilyn Manson album? Most likely. Let's find out. Okay, so it appears that was perhaps the token slow song on this album, because we haven't heard any yet. Don't know that there's 2 songs left. Don't know that we will hear another. This song basically, like, talks about how I imagined Marilyn Manson's sex life would honest to God be. I don't know that it necessarily fits the theme of what the album has appeared to be thus far. This feels like Marilyn Manson talking to me right now, and not necessarily a character that I thought I have been hearing from this whole time. Or perhaps it could be a person that this demon, this dragon, this thing, has whispered enough into the ear of and thoroughly fucked up, and thus created this perspective of this human being who is suffering and cannot have a stable romantic relationship, or a healthy romantic relationship even. And it does allude to suicide again, so I wonder if this demon thing that came down to Earth is causing all of this destruction, is what all the firearms, the guns, the bad things happening in this world, like one Christian would typically blame, like, all of this is the work of the devil. I wonder if this is just what this album is about, and that's fine. It's fitting for what's happening in the world as of right now. It feels like we're descending further into chaos, and maybe that's what Manson here is trying to allude to talk about. It's not the best on the album. It's not even original, but I would definitely, like, jam to it, in, like, the depths of my despair if I'm having a bad day. Yeah, I would rock out to this song. It's nothing special, but I like it. Moving on to the title song of the album, Heaven Upside Down.
Scratch at the sky like black feathers. Hold my hand, it's been around. Hold my hand, it's been around.
Okay, so this song, kind of combines elements of all of the things that I liked about Marilyn Manson and all of the things that I wanted to see from Marilyn Manson in this album. It's definitely more pulled back. There's a little, like, groovy funkiness, like, syncopation kind of stuff going on that I really enjoy, that I feel does accentuate what the song is trying to say, as opposed to screaming all of the time, which has its place. So I'm not exactly sure in the song either who is speaking to me. Perhaps another victim of this ominous being that has descended into Earth. It definitely has, the lyrics talk about some dark themes, and how it feels the world has descended into chaos, and how things have gone to shit. It has a more light tone. Like, you can hear kind of some tambourine, I think, going on in the background. You kind of feel like maybe you're listening to Fleetwood Mac as far as the instrumental goes. Almost like Fleetwood Mac, Marilyn Manson. Does that make any sense? The lyrics, hold my hand, spin around, hold my hand, spin around. Does that sound like anything Marilyn Manson would ever sing? No, it's definitely different. This is Heaven Upside Down. Maybe it is a celebration song, finding the beauty and how things have turned into more of a negative place. You know, maybe it's just a things are shitty, but let's make the most of it kind of song. I can agree with that. I can see that. I may change my mind. I'm not really sure how to feel about this song. My answer is confusion, I guess. And especially with what I had encountered with Saturnalia, I'm not sure what these songs are trying to tell the story of. I'm trying to make sense of it, and this is the best that I can include as of now. I don't think it's really catchy. I don't think I would listen to it in my spare time, maybe. Especially if I'm not an avid Marilyn Manson fan, as I am. It's another song, and it suffices. I'm disappointed at that because it is the title song of the album. But you know, we still got one more to go, and let's just check it out, and then come to our final conclusions about how this album is. The last one that we have is called Threats of Romance. Okay. I just heard piano in a Marilyn Manson song, and I fucking dug it. Like, the piano that was playing could definitely have been playing at a restaurant, and I would have been chill to it. It just worked so well. This song is also, what I was hoping to hear, with a pleasant combination of what he typically does. So, we hear Marilyn Manson, like, actually singing. And I really enjoy it. It starts out with this heavy beat, and it moves into piano. Really pulled back, not a lot going on, just the guitar and the piano, it feels like. And Marilyn Manson's distorted voice. I feel like he continuously sings with some kind of something over top of his vocals, and that's fine, you know, that's his choice. But it's talking about how he can't seem to reach things that are nice. Like, it's like that meme, like, this is why we can't have nice things. And the this is him, essentially. Still not sure who's exactly speaking, if this is genuinely, like, Marilyn Manson from Marilyn Manson's perspective. So perhaps he enjoys, or feeds off of things or people who are already hurting, but feels gratified when he can continue to hurt them worse. I feel that this one is a little bit more poetic than a lot of the ones that are on the track listing. I really enjoy the selection of the songs that he released for singles. I think he correctly set the precedent for what you would expect from the album. A good blend and mixture of what he always does that definitely passes, and some new elements of a more toned down, but more effective, more interesting style of Marilyn Manson. So for this album's rating, my volume up score, I'm probably cranking this sucker up to a solid 8. I'm impressed with what he did that was new. And most of what he did that was new was instrumental. As far as lyrics go, I don't feel like he took any risks at all. He hasn't, basically ever, except for, the risks that he took on Eat Me, Drink Me that were failures. Thematically, it goes along the same tone. A lot of the songs address what it feels like the main subject about, which is heaven upside down, which is what Revelation 12 really talks about. It explores the theme of this thing coming down to earth to devour and terrorize, and I feel like the whole album really encompasses chaos that we have been experiencing. Maybe Marilyn Manson has been experiencing even. As far as songs go, Tattooed in Reverse has my, list as track of the album. It's a really good song. It's fresh, but it keeps elements of what was so great about his old stuff. The lyrics are good. Everything about it just gets me really hyped. It's a banger. You'll enjoy it. You will rock out to it. You'll play it in your car. It's a good song. It's solid. Worst song on the album? Saturnalia? Oh, no. It's a solid tie between Saturnalia and Jesus Crisis. They were bad songs. Just go ahead to skip 6 and 7. You don't need them. I don't feel like they continue or perpetuate the theme at all. I don't think the opening track to this album does much except set the precedent for what you can expect for the rest of the album. Overall, this album, solid 8. It's nothing special. It's nothing bad. There were no risks taken, but it wasn't a bad thing that he didn't take them. What I expected, I got. So there you have it. There's my thoughts on Marilyn Manson's new album, Heaven Upside Down, that just dropped tonight. I would recommend buying it. If not, stream it. Give it a listen. It's worth it. Form your own opinion. Let me know what you think, again, of the thematic elements about this whole Revelation 12 demon coming down to earth. Do you think it's different? Do you think it's worth it? Do you agree that this is my take on this? If you see those elements in the songs that I didn't necessarily see those elements in, feel free to discuss it in the comments. And I will see you in our next review video.
No! As you can tell, I'm not a Genji man.
I'm trying really hard for... Okay. Oh, I got stuck! No! That was such a good plan, though.